That's the.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Hope
Good
everyone
evening.
is well. I hope everyone is well and feeling okay. Okay, so tonight's topic is, 1 second, let me just share the screen. Tonight's topic is, we're going to talk about fear and anxiety. I do not fear a second wave of COVID-19, and neither should you. And I'll explain that in tonight's class. So tonight, the Parsha today is all about fear. I'm going to share the screen in front of you. Just open it up here. Second. Okay. Oh gosh. Hold on 1 second. Let me just share the screen. Okay. So it's a double Torah portion this week. The second Torah portion is about Balak. The first word of the Torah, the first verse says like this: Vayar Balak ben Zippor. Balak, the son of Zippor, saw kol asher asa Yisrael Amori, what all the Jews did to the Amorites. And immediately it says, the verse says, Vayagar Moab, the nation of Moab became terrified. Now let's understand what's going on over here. The Jews had just destroyed two nations, Sichon ve'og, two giants that Balak was relying on them for protection. And Balak now was genuinely afraid. He was scared. He was petrified of the Jews. So how do suddenly the entire nation of Balak, he was the king of Moab, how does the entire nation suddenly fear? How do they become terrified? And the answer is, and I actually want you to see this inside in the Rebbe's own words. This is a talk given by the Rebbe. It's printed in Likutei Sichot, volume 8. The Rebbe has such a beautiful and novel approach on fear, on anxiety, and translate that into COVID-19. Tremendous chizuk and inspiration. So look over here in Hanal Ken Menzugo ben Nochanukud. Wie gesagt früher, is Beis Balak, at the time that Balak hat gesehen, wie die Eden haben der Hariget, die Stei Melachim, Sheine Betuchim Lem. When Balak saw that the Jews destroyed the two kings, Sichon and Og, that they were relying on, Hoter wegen dem der Zelt dem Volk. Balak then went and told his entire nation. He told his ministers, hey, you know what's going on? The Jews, they destroyed Sichon ve'og, they're coming for us. And then those ministers posted on their Facebook page, and then they sent out WhatsApps, and then the Drudge and CNBC and CNN and Fox News and everybody, all the news reports. Oh my God, you know what happened? Balak is afraid, the Jews are coming, and 50,000 people are afraid. And then, oh, you know what? 100,000 people are afraid. And then 200,000 people are afraid. And you petrify the whole nation. You see, especially in today's day and age with social media, we just post and we post and we post. Why do headlines go onto any headlines today, right now, any headlines, and you'll see so many fear mongering. The headlines, the news reporters, they know that people love this. They want to sell, so they just play on our fears and on our anxiety. So Balak, what did he do? He whispered in this guy's ear and that guy's ear, and soon the whole nation of Moab was petrified. Und das hat gewirkt, as Vayagar Moab. And the Rebbe says, this is what happens, that now the entire nation of Moab was simply afraid. Says the Rebbe, a question, why did he have to tell everybody about this? For what possible purpose? What possible reason could Balak have had to petrify, to scare the entire nation? Now, yes, I understand you think your nation is going to be decimated. I get it. You're very, very afraid. But what is the point of telling everybody about it? Why? Saivi, haben sie doch in dem gar nicht gekannt helfen. They couldn't help with it anyway. And translate that into coronavirus times. I'll do that in a minute. Heinzli, was hat gedarf machen dem Vayagar in land? So why did he have to cause everybody to panic? For what reason? Is the interior of them? So the answer is, as Bishas Vayar Balak Eskalashar saw Israel Mori. When Balak saw all that the Jews had done to the other nations, is it zu tumult geworden? He became like panicked and like messed. When hat sich nicht gekannt beherrschen und sich einhalten, if nicht zu reden wegen dem, he couldn't hold himself back from spreading the news. It's like, when you share that WhatsApp, it's almost like, oh, it's me who shared the bad news, the positive, the negative reports. It's me. It's like you get such a energy in sharing those negative reports. That's exactly what happened to Balak. And why couldn't he control himself? Weil harishoim and bereshus libam, because evil people are controlled by their heart. So if their heart is panicking, they have to share that, and they have to just spread the news. On the other hand, in this week's parsha, we also have another Jew who was afraid. Who was that? Moses. Why was Moses afraid? Because God told him to go and kill Og, the famous giant Og. Moses was afraid. Why was he afraid? Because Og, about 400 years before this, had done a favor to Abraham. You see, Abraham's nephew Lot was captured in battle. And Og went and told Abraham, you should know that your nephew Lot was captured. So Abraham now went to fight the battle, and he got Lot back. Now, Og's intentions were because he wanted Abraham to fall in battle, to die and steal his wife Sarah, who was so beautiful. So even though his intentions were bad, but nonetheless he did Abraham a favor, so much so that 400 years later, Moses was afraid that maybe this merit would stand him in good favor. So what did Moses do with his fear? Did he start WhatsApping his whole community and say, hey, I'm so afraid that Og and his army are going to decimate us, are going to destroy us? Did he now post on his Facebook status, I'm afraid of the second wave, I'm afraid of the second Egypt, I'm afraid of Og decimating us? Did he whisper in people's ears, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid? Absolutely not. Look what the Rebbe says over here. Und da sieht man den Chiluk zwischen Balak und Moshe Rabbeinu. Here we see the difference between Balak and Moshe Rabbeinu. Balak hat gleich mefarsim gewinnt die Meure seine. Balak, as soon as he had something to fear, something to spread, he shared it. He immediately updated his social media. Bis as the ganze Volk hat Meure gehabt, until he was able to scare his entire people, his entire flock. Mashenk and Moshe Rabbeinu. On the other hand, Moshe Rabbeinu. By the way, you could argue Moses should start making everybody fear, so that they should prepare adequately for war, so that they should fight with more courage. Maybe he had a reason why he should inspire everybody to be fear is a great inspiration. But no, Moses, even when he had fear from Oig, that maybe Oig has a merit from Abraham, is not only was wegen dem keinen nicht erzählt. Not only did he not tell anybody, nor noch mehr furthermore. Afilo if ihm allein is klar nicht gewinnt, kennt ken mehr. Even on Moses himself, you couldn't see the fear. So ask me if I'm afraid of Corona, of a second wave. Absolutely not afraid. Afraid? Not afraid. Und wie der Loschen in Gemara is gewinnt, blois beliboy, like the Talmud says, it was only in his heart. And the Rebbe finishes off over here, and I'm going to say it outside because I want to keep this in 10 minutes. This Saturday, Sunday, we celebrate the holiday of Yud Bet Tammuz. It's when the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was freed from prison. So he was imprisoned by Stalin. Stalin and the KGB and the USSR, the former Soviet Union, they were a mighty, mighty army. And even when the previous Rebbe had every reason to fear, he says before 1927, he actually was a little bit fearful. But not only did he not show it, did he not demonstrate it, nor Adarab, on the contrary. In the selbe Zeit noch mehr gewesen. In the same time, he encouraged people, and he told them to spread Torah and mitzvot even further. He wouldn't let the fear spread. He wouldn't let this fear, even though there was everything to fear, he wouldn't let it spread into his flock, onto the Jewish nation. Because as Jews, we fear nobody, and as he finishes off over here, the Frierdiker Rebbe, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, at the end of the day, he was able to prevail over the mighty beast, the USSR, the government. The Baal Shem Tov repeated the story many times. He said as a young child, the last words that he heard from his father when he was 4 or 5 years old, when his father died, he told him, Yisraelik, Yisrael was the name of the Baal Shem Tov, fear nobody but God alone. As Jews, we do not fear anybody. Now, of course, that doesn't mean we don't need to take precautions. We need to take as many precautions as we can, right? We need to take precaution after precaution after precaution, whatever that means, whatever our scientific experts tell us, of course, we need to do that, and we need to be prepared. But to fear Absolutely not. And to share negative news? Absolutely not. If we could take a commitment that from now on, we will not share negative news, not on WhatsApp and not on social media, not on Instagram, even if by sharing negative news we'll have so many more likes. We don't do that because we are in control of our hearts. Our brains, our brains are in control. And we know that we fear nobody but God alone. We have full trust that God will do everything in his power to help us. So we trust in God and we love God. We know that he loves us. But fear has no place for a Jew. We do not fear. And especially, we do not share negative reports. You know who does that? Balak. Balak makes his whole nation afraid and fearful. May we all have only joy. May God only give us joy to share and to have and to participate in. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful Shabbat.